The competition is going to start any minute from now. Just a gentle reminder, please make sure that all of your communicating devices are equipped with stable internet connection. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh, and a very good evening to all. Welcome to Mystery Debate 2020, organized by Generic for Kerisi. Before the competition commences, let me read the summarized rules and regulations. 1. The debate will be conducted almost adhering to Asian parliamentary format, consisting of two teams, the opposition teams, the government, and the opposition teams, with 4 speakers each. The first speaker is the leader of the team. The second speaker is the deputy leader of the team. The third speaker is the proposition or opposition whip. The fourth speaker is the proposition or opposition reply. During the competition, a debating topic will be given by the chairperson from the range of topics given. The stand of the team to be proposition or opposition will be determined by the chairperson simultaneously. Each team is given 10 minutes for discussion phase. Each speaker is given 5 minutes for presentation phase. A single ring to signal the half time for both discussion and presentation phase. 2 rings during the last 30 seconds for both discussion and presentation phase. 3 rings to signal time up for both discussion and presentation phase. The speakers can utilize any form of information searching device such as mobile phones, articles, books to find information regarding the topic of the debate. The debater can ask for clarification or definition of the words in the topic given. Throughout the competition, point of interest or POI are short interjection in the form of question that can be asked by the speakers. To interject, one must raise their hand or manifest any polite gesture before offering a question of POI to his or her opponent courteously. If the opponent allows the interjection, the speakers can start presenting his POI immediately. The POI is usually 50 seconds long or about 2 sentences. The speaker should respond to the question. The speaker can reject the interjection by saying no thank you or no, not at this time or any other form of rejection. POI must not be open-ended or lead the argument of topic. There are no limits to the amount of POI to offer. The debaters must wear appropriate and presentable outfits throughout the competition. Debaters must use proper greeting and proper grammar during the presentation. No foul exchange or language is allowed during the argument or presentation. The competition will be recorded as well as uploaded on Generic for Kerisi YouTube channel to be evaluated by the panel of judges. Now let me introduce and determine the stand of speakers from both teams. The government or proposition team will be Terabai Pawaka Team 2 from Generic 9. The first speaker is Aman Irham bin Rozaini. The second speaker is Asma Kamariah binti Kamarudin. The third speaker is Eliana Kawima binti Kamarul. The fourth speaker is Fakrul Hijaz Daniel bin Abdul Taib. The opposition team will be Kerambit Kersani Team 2 from Generic 8. The first speaker is Muhammad Faiz Iqbal bin Alias. The second speaker is Pavitran Julius, anak lelaki Sudhabe. The third speaker is Nur Husna Humaira binti Zulkarnain. The fourth speaker is Makliam Mang anak Linggi. The adjudicators or panel of judges for this debater are Miss Kezrawati Mujan binti Yusof, Mr. Dean Yo Kai Liang, Madam Liana binti Rosli, and Miss Melissa Malini, anak perempuan Raja Gopal. I, Muhammad Dini Haikal bin Karo Faizi, will be the chairperson. Amanda Anak Meta will be the timekeeper, and the multimedia team will be the meeting host. The debating topic is The globe will be facing overpopulation problem in future due with the decision of human migration to other planets such as Mars. I repeat, this house believes that the globe will be facing overpopulation problem in future. Do you agree with the decision of human migration to other planets such as Mars? Now, the speakers are given 1 minute to ask for clarification or definition of the words in the topic given. 1 minute starts from now. All right, time's up. Speakers from both teams, are you ready? 10 minutes discussion phase starts now. All right, time's up. Okay, before we start, I please all the debaters to on their camera. Without further ado, may I invite the first speaker from the government team, Amal Irham bin Rozaini, to present his speech.
Yes, I know. Ladies and gentlemen, as this first speaker, my job is pretty simple. I would deliver to you our status quo. Secondly, I would deliver to you our definition. And lastly, I would give you the burden of proof for both sides, my side and their side. From the burden of proof, we will go through our points of argument, right? So our status quo today, Malaysia has not reached the expectation of number of citizens. That is why Dato Sri Najib Tun Abdul Razak came with TN50, 50 million of citizens to be exact, and that was expected to be in Malaysia in the year of 2022. However, this is 2020 and Malaysia has yet reached 31 million citizens only. This is far reach from our reality. Number two, our status quo is simple. Even when the best case scenario coming from their side, they might be talking, the opposition side might be talking about the one-child policy, this two-child policy that is applied in some countries like China and Singapore. We do think that is the reason why these big countries why these countries that have billions of numbers of citizens still are able to go to become a developed country. So this is not the issue. Number of citizens in the world is not the issue for countries like Malaysia and also countries like China. Get it? So before I move on, a very pleasantful evening I bid to all, and Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So I would give you the definition from my side, right? So the global overpopulizing. What is from our side, we think that global overpopulizing is when number of people in the earth is exceed the limit. That is when the loss of fresh water, the lack of education will happen. But that is not happening in our world today. True, there are some third world countries that is happening to I'm sorry, that there are some third world countries that have the impediment of those predicament, right? But then we think those are very little countries, but then as a good government, we still think that those little countries matter. That is when the function of United Nations works. That is when the rest of the first world countries and second world countries like us will help these third world countries. Ladies and gentlemen, before I move on, is there any POI? No. Okay, thank you. So human migrating to other planets, from our side, we think it's impossible. Number one, we think that the Earth itself is still relevant to live on. Number two, we think that to go there, to go to Mars especially, is out of our reach, out of our limit. It is to build rockets, to build a SpaceX cube is something that is not yet achievable. Yes, Pavitran.
Shouldn't you guys be agreeing to go to Mars instead of not going to Mars due to overpopulation?
I'm sorry, I cannot hear you, Pavitran. Can you repeat?
Shouldn't you guys actually be agreeing to go to Mars instead of objecting to go to Mars due to overpopulation?
In this debate, we choose not to agree with the motion, right? So, okay, so in this motion, let me repeat the motion to you guys, right? In this motion, this house believes that whether or not global overpopulating, like for human migrating to other planet, do we agree or not? So from our side, we disagree. We hope you clear from your side. Okay, so the last part from this debate is that the burden of proof, right? So in our burden of proof, our BOP is pretty simple. We need to prove that our world is still relevant to be lived on, and I'm going to deliver the argument from that side. And so the second speaker will tell you the cost of going there is unreachable, and that is our burden of proof. If we manage to give those two burden of proof, if we manage to prove those two things, then we win. However, from your side, you need to prove that our work is not even relevant, and you need to prove
Time's
also
up.
how are we
First
going.
speaker.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you for the first speaker for your speech. Now I would like to call upon the leader of the opposition team, Muhammad Faiz Iqbal bin Alias, to present his speech.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. To the honorable panel of adjudicators, a great timekeeper, my beloved team, and my beloved affirmative side, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are from the opposition team that against and negate this motion. We are strongly disagree that the migration of humans to other planets, especially Mars. Before we deliver our point of argument, let me introduce myself, my team line, and my team split. So I'm Faiz Iqbal as the first speaker and refute the first point of the first speaker from the affirmative side, and I would deliver my argument on increase the reason why we can live in Mars. And Pavitran Julius as a second speaker, we refuse the point of the second speaker of affirmative side and deliver argument on promote family planning and one-child legislation. Okay, first of all, I continue with our definition. Our definition of our motion in our perception. So, globe overpopulation is a state in which there are too many people for the environment to sustain. Like we need food, drinkable water, and breathable air. So in scientific terms, there is overshoot when the ecological footprint of a human population in a geographical area exceeds that place carrying capacity, damaging the environment faster than it can be repaired by nature. Overpopulation also could apply to the population of specific region or to the world population as whole. So from the motion, we will give our team line that we as the affirmative, that we as the opposition team are not agree, absolutely not agree with our motion today. Then our parameter today is to talk about the reason why we as the opposition team against and against this motion. So ladies and gentlemen, all right, so without further ado, let's move into the argument. So my argument is why we cannot why the migration of human to other planet is not suitable. It is because it can increase dramatically the risk of forward contamination of the Mars surface with our earthly microbe, which would ruin our unique chance to study a pristine Mars. So besides, we need much of time to explore and study about Mars. So it takes a lot of time for us to do the revision, to do the explore or study before we move into Mars. So for my evidence, until now there is just a little proof that has been found from the scientists about life on Mars. So my question is, how can we survive in Mars? Because we need to make sure that we need to make sure that our sustain is full is enough. That our sustain is enough. Like we must take a look with our what can we eat at the Mars. Like we need to make sure that we have a good we have enough food like drinkable water and breathable air, especially in Mars. We don't now until now the scientists have proved that Mars, we can't live in Mars because we have many problems to live in Mars. So I think that's all for my argument. So it will be continued by the second speaker later. Thank you.
Thank you for the first speaker of the opposition team. Next, I would like to invite the second speaker of the government team, Asma Kamariah binti Kamarudin, to deliver her speech.
Okay, Assalamualaikum and a very good day to all of you. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, bukan. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, the motion in today's debate is not clear in the first place. Actually, the motion was global populizing leads to human migration to other planets like Mars. Do you agree or not? That was the motion. From our side, we have laid out very clearly that we are not going to make this happen. So, as the opposition side, they should oppose us. All right. Let me continue my job for today, which is I'm going to continue opposing the motion. My point is, cost to going to the Mars is very high, which is the Mars One's mission budget almost USS $6 billion, which almost 2.4 trillion ringgit in Malaysia. And it says that the Mars One's mission costs lower than the other planned missions to the Mars, but it's still very, very, very expensive. Okay? And then that USS $6 billion is only for first 4 people. How did we going to migrate everyone on Earth? The overpopulation human in Earth going to the Mars if only first 4 people can take $6 billion. Okay, and then the reason why we shouldn't migrate to the Mars because the Mars itself don't have any just like oxygen, and then we don't know any habitat that live there that we can make as our foods, or even can we even drink the water at that planet. So I think that it is irrelevant for us to move to the Mars only because our Earth is going to overpopulated. It's because it will never happen. All right. I think that's all from me. Thank you. Any PRI?
Thank you for the speech. May I call upon the second speaker? May I call upon the same please anak lelaki Surhave to present his speech.
So, before I begin my debate or speech for today, right, allow me to clarify some things, especially on the motion for today. Our motion today is actually how far do we agree with our motion, and usually the government should be the affirmative side. In whatever motion, there should be the affirmative side, meaning that they should agree with the motion, and us opposition should oppose the motion. And it has been clearly seen that the government has clearly not controlled the facts over here. Okay, so I'll just move on elaborating on why we oppose this as the opposition, because we are an opposition team. So as a second minister today, I would be first rebutting the points given by the government side, but since there is actually no point that we can rebut since all the points actually contributes to our side, so I'll just be providing more arguments to support why we should not go to mass and why we disagree on our motion for today. So firstly, my first point would be to promote family planning. There's a lot more other ways besides going to mass to prevent overpopulation, and the first one would be to promote family planning. So for instance, education on contraception. Let's look at Iran for instance. Iran introduced national family planning programs in 1989, and the fertility rate fell from 5.6 births per woman to 2.6 in a decade. And a similar thing happened in Rwanda with a threefold increase in contraception in just 5 years. So I think it's safe to say that promoting family planning could actually help decrease overpopulation. And now moving on to my next point would be the one-child legislation. So during China, we all know about China's high controversial one-child policy, right? So the fertility fell from 6 births per woman in 1960s to 1.5 in 2014. So it clearly shows that China implementing this one-child legislations actually helps in reducing overpopulation in their country. So now let's talk about the feasibility of this happening. Okay, so the feasibility of us going to mass, the feasibility of our governments actually able to be funding all of this. As the government side actually said in helping us support our points for today, they said that it will cost millions, billions, and even trillions, right? So yes, it's true. It will actually cost trillions to bring our nation to other planets such as Mars due to our population. And we also have to look at the feasibility here in terms of cost and resources, as resources will be depleted by the time we would want to travel to Mars. And once those resources are depleted, how can we be so sure that there will be resources at Mars as well? Enough resources to fund us. Enough resources to actually cover up for those depleted resources back on Earth. We are not sure, we are not certain yet. So that is one point which we should consider as well, the feasibility of us going to Mars from Earth. So I think that is all my points for today. Because the government side has already helped us a lot with their points, helping to oppose this motion for today as well. And before I end my speech, let me just clarify. Once again, the government should be the affirmative side, and meaning that they are the affirmative side to support the motion, whatever motion that you give. So in today's motion, you should actually agree with the motion since you are the affirmative side by right, and we by right are the opposition side, so we should oppose this motion, meaning that we disagree with this motion. So hope you get your facts right before you debate, and with that, I have my speech for today. Thank you.
Here, here.
Thank you for the second speaker from the opposition team. Now let's welcome the third speaker from the government team, Eliana Kawima binti Kamarud, to deliver her speech.
Alright, in today's debate, I, as a government whip of the government bench, would defend the case, and in our bench, I rebut the points from the opposition bench. But to be clear enough that the motion today is really an open-ended, and how far do you agree about the motion itself? So I think this is actually, so this is why we are not agreeing to this, and this is open debate. So whatever the government have said, the opposition team should follow. So here I am to support my Prime Minister and my Deputy Leader have said about why the overpopulation will not happen and why we should not migrate in the mass in the first place. So first of all, let me clarify. So Malaysia is aiming to have 50 million citizens, which is what we have right now is like much lesser than what we're actually aiming for. So Malaysia, have 31 million of citizens. So it is clearly that we need like double the number of the total, the number that Malaysia is aiming for. And then overpopulation countries like Singapore and China, they have said about their one-child policy, which would not make any overpopulation be a problem. And here I would like to clarify why Mars is not a good place where we should migrate. This is because Mars actually have a toxic soil, have low gravity, and lack of water and cold temperatures. This fact was written by NASA. Yes, please.
For your, just to clarify earlier, you said that the opposition should follow the government, right? So, say, let's look at this. We do not know that you're opposing or agreeing in the first place before this debate. So, how do you suggest that we know what you're doing? How can we just follow you immediately doing a speech?
You should be ready, I guess. So that's the only way. So here I would like to talk about why. Overpopulation will not happen. This is because from Brookings itself says that the world produces 2.5 billion tons of cereals at present. So which means that on Earth still have enough food source for the people. So I think that the Earth are still one of the places that are able for the humans to live on. And as I said, as my deputy leader said, that the cost to go to Mars costs 2.3 trillion Malaysian ringgit, and it's actually limited for 4 people. So how are you trying to? I highlight again. How are you trying to bring all these people, these overpopulation people, to Mars, where Mars actually something that would danger us as humans? And based from the Curious Kid blog, it says that one of the biggest challenges of human in Mars mission will be keeping the crew fit and healthy, which means that it is hard for us to be fit and healthy on Mars, because being in space for a long time can make a lot of strange things happen to the human body. When we enter the microgravity environment of space, when astronauts can float, the first thing that happens is that the body fluids which on Earth are pulled to the feet are reduced and moved towards the head and chest. This causes astronauts to experience something called puffy head and chicken legs. So I guess that's all for my point today, and yeah, thank you.
Thank you for the third speaker from the government team. Next, I would like to invite the third speaker from the opposition team, Nur Husna Humaira binti Zulkarnain, to deliver her speech.
Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. As the whip for the opposition side today, I will deconstruct the points given by the government with a clear flow of rebuttals, and at the end of my speech prove and validate as to why our side will win to this debate. So today I will clear up the motions again. So motion asks the government to agree, and do not ask to agree or not. The government should agree, because it is how far do you agree. So the government should agree that the decision of human migration to other planets such as Mars, and we as the opposition side should disagree with this decision. So so from the government side, their motion is not clear enough, and they actually support our side. So I have no rebut. I can't rebut. I can rebut the point given by the government, because all of their points support our point. So it is true that we should disagree with the decision of human migration to other planets such as Mars, because more we can provide education such as family planning, and there will be no overpopulation towards the Earth, and Earth still can be lived on, such as the government side says that Earth is still unable to live on and work, and Earth still provide enough source for people. So that is why Actually, both government and opposition teams disagree with this motion, even though the government team actually should agree with this motion. So that is all from me. Thank you.
Thank you for the third speaker from the opposition teams. Now we are into the final phase of the competition. May I call upon the fourth speaker of the government team, Fakrul Hijaz Daniel bin Abdul Taib, to deliver his reply speech.
Hello and good morning to all debaters. I'm the fourth speaker of Team Terabai Pawaka. Hello, hello. All right, so first of all, I would like to clarify that what the motion asks. Nur Husna states that the motion asks us to agree with the motion. No, the motion clearly asks us to state your stand. So we do state our stand. Our stand is we disagree with the motion. Right. So I would like to continue with our points, and I would like to conclude our my team's point. So the first of all, traveling to Mars, the cost is just too big. The cost is it takes trillion and trillion of dollars. There are if we have money, why don't we just end poverty right now, and the rest of us could live on Earth in peace. No, I think we all love Earth, right? Why don't we just end the poverty right now? And then there's a theory by physicists stating that there's no atmosphere in Mars, right? And there's theory of nuking the North Pole of Mars, but it is just a theory, not a fact. So it is hard to believe that we could transform Mars into a Earth-like place. And there's also no food supply on Mars. The soil on Mars is just not suitable to grow vegetation, and it doesn't even have any water. It used to have running water, but right now it doesn't. So that is all from me. Thank you.
Thank you for the fourth speaker of the government team. Last but not least, let's invite the fourth speaker from the opposition team, Wakliam Mang Anak Linggi, to present his reply speech.
Hello, can anyone hear me? Can anyone hear me?
Yes,
Yes,
please
we
open
can.
your camera.
Wait. Okay, dah. Okay, so good evening to everyone. So, okay, for today, I'm the fourth speaker of the opposite team. Will clarify everything about this debate. Okay, so for today's motion, uh, this House believes that the globe will facing overpopulation problem in future. So, do you agree with the decision of human migration to other planets such as Mars? So, for today, I don't think that everyone will agree with this motion because sometimes it's hard to make such a decision for the world. But this time, the government needs to agree to this motion, and for that, they have to give a point about why they are agreeing about this, not of disagreeing. And for that, they choose to disagree about this motion. Why do you disagree for this motion? Because you cannot find point for agreeing this. So the organizer had just said that this house believed that. So it means that you have to believe that you can do your best to make sure that you can migrate everyone else to the other planets, such as Mars. Not only Mars, you can go to Saturn, you can go to Jupiter, you can also to Pluto. But what is the risk? What is the possibility? You have to state that. So our motion would, okay, so let's just move on because I don't want to talk about it. So for today, I want to clarify that our team is disagreed about this motion because there are many ways to prevent overpopulation humans in this globe. For example, is like the deputy opposition leader said that only one children is legalized in a family. So this choice is only when used for the country that they're facing a lot of overpopulation, a lot of humans in the country, such as China. But then China also legalized this opinion because it's against of their rights. So they make another choice, which is empower the human to empower the women to more in works instead of staying in the house only. So if we can empower the women, so they can decrease the popularity of the humans. And then, besides, the opposition leader of my side said that we need much time to study Mars much more, because according to NASA, we have at least little information which is not useful because due to this involving the human migration. So that information we get from Mars is not useful due to some reason. So like the government said that they have disagreed. Well, actually, you give us a point actually, because you give us like much information on how to winning this debate. So this is why this debate is this is not the reason why a debate is held, because we need to fight over each other, not supporting each other's back. So for today, I'll declare that this house believes that the globe will facing overpopulation problem in future. Do you agree with this decision? Human migration to other planets such as Mars is all. Thank you.
Thank you to the fourth speaker from the opposition team. With that, all the speakers from both government and opposition team have delivered their speech. Kudos everyone. The result will be announced on 26 October, which is next Monday. Please stay alert to any announcement by Generic for Krisihil on official social media. And that's the end of our debate session. Thank you. You may leave now.